House builders have been accused of scandalous behaviour over the sale of leasehold houses. Most new houses are sold freehold, but in the last decade some were sold leasehold, with buyers then having to pay ground rent and fees if they wanted to make alterations. Rents could start at a couple of £100 but double every 10 years. The Housing Committee has been looking into what happened and heard from some big building firms, including Taylor Wimpey.
I welcome the opportunity to appear before the committee today, both to repeat our apology to those customers who have been affected by a very specific lease that Taylor Wimpey had historically, which was a 10-year doubling ground rent lease, and also if I have the opportunity to explain the measures that Taylor Wimpey have taken to date and are taking to help resolve that issue for our customers.
We'll come back to the compensation scheme
yes.
in due course. Right.
The committee wondered what house builders charged ground rent for.
What do you actually give to the householder, in return for this money you're taking from them?
I think in respect of leasehold houses, I think that that's a fair question, and it is one of the reasons that when these matters came to our attention at the sort of autumn 2016, we made the very quick decision to convert the homes that we sell to freehold.
So you don't
in the
think you can give me
Northwest.
anything then, basically?
But we believe that they're unnecessary for leasehold houses in the majority of circumstances.
Right. So you were embarrassed into abandoning them then, because you didn't justify them?
As I said, Chair, it was established custom and practice, particularly in the northwest of England.
So Taylor Wimpey haven't got any reason to collect the ground rent they can't justify it. What about Bellway?
Well, the only tangible benefit is to buy a home at a lower price from the outset. There is no other benefit, Chair.
He explained that houses which were sold as leasehold were cheaper than freehold ones. The committee moved on.
Leaseholders, based on the evidence sessions and the roundtables that we've been involved in, I can, I think, inform you that there are a lot of unhappy people out there. But that's just to put it mildly. But we're just let's look into the compensation schemes with respect to ground rent. Now, last week, one leaseholder accused developers of offering, and I quote, as little as they can possibly get away with to compensate leaseholders affected by onerous ground rents. Now, is that a fair assessment, analysis in your opinion?
We took the matter extremely seriously when it was brought to our attention around autumn 2016, and I think the reason for that timing is that the leases that we created with that specific clause was used on new developments between 2007 and 2011, was coming up for its first doubling and was starting to cause concerns to customers. We did act very swiftly. We talked about Taylor Wimpey's decision right at the very start of 2017 to move away from the sale of leasehold homes or houses in favour of freehold. We also, having undertaken a sort of a detailed internal review, established a provision of 130 million, which we announced in April 2017.
And the company was working with those affected. Another area of concern was that leaseholds were sold by the builders to a third company, without house owners being able to buy them.
Why is it then that your company has this policy of you want to sell it off to a third party and not offer it to the individual leaseholders at the time when you're offering the sale?
It's how we've always operated as a business, and I'm sure that's not the answer you want, but once a year we will...
No, what I'm asking is why do your customers not get the chance to exercise the opportunity to buy their freehold?
Purely...
You're just selling the freehold from out under them?
Yes.
Without their knowledge?
Yes, we are.
Right,
yeah,
okay. Well, I mean, I would regard that as being, quite frankly, a scandal.
I'm not sure I subscribe to it as a scandal. You're offered a freehold at the point of sale and a leasehold, and the law says that you've got the right to acquire the freehold after 2 years of living in it. And you're right. I do not. You're quite right. You're 100% right that I do not. I sell that basket of leaseholds or freeholds to an investor without asking the customer whether they would like to buy it again.
Okay. Do you think the law should be changed to stop that?
I think the whole area of first right of refusal is confusing, and I would suggest through the reform process I would take it a step further. I'd have a cap on consent fees, I'd have a cap on calculation of ground rents, I'd have a calculation on the value of the freehold, and I'd make the whole process more consumer friendly.